Today's guest speaker, he is my very good friend and Aditi's father, Dr. Diwakar. He is a psychiatrist by profession. He works in Narayana Hospital at Bomasandra. He is one of the followers and a Param Vedanta teacher, an avid reader, a very good sports person, great orator and organizer. Both his kids are participating in our classes, and they're also chanting regularly in the elders classes, that is Param Vedanta classes. So I welcome Dr. Diwakar, and I also would like him to share his slides. Over to you, Dr. Diwakar. You can share your slides.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Thank you very much for the nice and warm introduction, Sachin. It's a privilege and blessing to be part of this class. I've been following these classes, indirectly through Aditi, and I'm amazed to see so many children participating so regularly. And I can see in their interactions how much they have developed already in their own personality. Can I share the slides now?
Yeah. Please share. Go ahead.
Okay. So, first of all, let me just, can you see the slides?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let me start with the Guru Mantra. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. It is only because of the lineage of Guru Parampara. There are so many Gurus we have had, and each of these Guru has carried on the knowledge from the eternal Vedas. Whatever we are reading today through Bhagavad Gita has come from the Vedas. Vedas are timeless. They are called as Apaurusheya, which means they are not created or written by any human beings. So this knowledge of Vedas is being translated to us through the Guru Parampara. Gurus are our channels. They are like the trains who are carrying this knowledge to us. We are so blessed.
Sir, I just got disconnected. Sir, I just joined. I just got disconnected now.
Slide is disconnected, is it? Can you not see?
There was a momentary interruption.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay. So we are so blessed that we have a great Guru, Swami Paramarthananda Ji, whose teachings have made a lot of transformation in all of us. So we are all in the process of learning, and we are so blessed to have him as our Guru. So Krishna's teaching via Swami Paramarthananda Ji, we are learning through this Param Vedanta team. And of course, it is only because of Dr. Timappa Hegde that we are all here today. So all of this has made sense to so many of us because of Dr. Timappa. Dr. Timappa, as you all know, is a very famous neurosurgeon. He is such a good speaker, such a spiritual teacher. He has motivated so many of us. And thanks to Param Vedanta team and all our colleagues, and happy to see so many of Param Vedanta team members who are participating even in this class. And thanks to Sachin, who has really relentlessly been taking on these classes despite of all these challenges. It is so wonderful. I am also happy that my colleague Dr. Manjula, who is a psychiatric social worker, she is also a part of Vedanta team. She is also there in this meeting. So she will also be talking, at some stage in this talk. Now let's set some rules, all right? So I know you all are very, very clever. So I need one of you to talk about this picture and tell the story. And I don't want.
I know.
So I want you to raise your hand virtually, and we will pick and choose who is the person who will be talking, because otherwise, all of you will be wanting to talk, and it will be difficult.
Sir, I can tell.
Okay, I can see Divyanshi. Divyanshi?
Yes, sir. So in this story, we learn that like this story was basically about two animals. One was a hare and one was a tortoise. At the beginning, the tortoise was going very slow, and the hare was going very fast. And he thought that I would win the race. So let him come. Till then, that I will take some rest under a tree. So he fell asleep, and he didn't realize that it became a lot of time that he was sleeping. So that in that moment, the tortoise went a lot ahead of him, and when he woke up, he saw that the tortoise already won the race. So moral of the story is that we have to we have to not think every time that I will win, or he will not, or she will not. Like we have to have if he or she wins, it's good for me that they get like every time I will, if I only win, then they will not have any opportunity to win only, so I will let them win. So we have to have like.
Excellent, Divyanshi. Well done. So you've covered everything. Whatever I wanted to say, you already covered. So who else wants to tell me the moral of the story? I can see Shivang. Shivang?
Yes,
Is
sir.
that Shivang? Yeah, what is the moral of this story? Divyanshi has already told something. So do you have any other morals from this story?
Sir, we have to not think we are the best. Everyone is the best.
Correct. Okay. Some people say that moral of this story is slow and steady wins the race. How many of you have heard that?
Sir, yes, sir, I heard that. Slow and steady wins the race. Yes.
Right. That is what we have all heard when we were kids, and that was the moral of the story. Now I can see the generation has already changed. Okay. Generation has already changed, and you all have a different moral to this, right? Slow and steady wins the race. If you have a hair like that.
Sir, I wanted to tell that moral only.
All right. Okay. Now,
Sir,
okay, whomever I'm going to tell the name, call the name, will be answering. All right. So you all have to raise your hand. Okay, because we do have to cover. I know that there are a lot of others who wants to speak as well. Okay. Now, in this race, I mean, is that really a fair race? First of all, how can a hare and a tortoise have a race together? Whoever set up that race clearly wasn't thinking right, isn't it? This is to teach a story. This is to teach a moral that they have created this story, right? Now let's see what went wrong for the hare. So as Divyanshi said, hare was overconfident. Hare thought that it is already going to win, and it was going to win the race, and it was going very, very fast. And he thought that it has a lot of time in his hand, and started to, wanted to enjoy a bit of sleep before the tortoise could come. Whereas on the other hand, you have this tortoise who didn't even bother who the opponent is, right? Hare already thought that the race was won. Therefore, it was so overconfident and ran so fast and probably became exhausted and started to sleep. Hare was only focusing on the result, right? Whereas the tortoise was focusing more on the process. Tortoise wanted to compete in the race. If somebody had told tortoise that, are you going to win this race? It would have told in the very beginning, no chance at all. But then I want to compete. I want to participate in the race. So from this story, we can see that the hare was only a karmi. Karmi means the one who focuses mainly on the results, mainly on the outcomes of the action. Whereas a tortoise seems like a karma yogi. Karma yogi focuses mainly on the process, but not the result. I'm sure all of you have heard of karma yoga, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. I know a lot of these hands are already up. I think these were the hands which are raised for the previous question. Are there any fresh hands now?
Yes.
Who wants to say about what is karma yoga?
Karma Yoga is the chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita.
Chapter 12, is it, Vishnu? Are you sure?
I thought I heard it was chapter 3.
That is right. It is chapter 3.
Sir, karma yoga is also one of the 3 parts, like from the first chapter to the 6th.
That is right. Absolutely right. In the first Shatkam, in the first 6 chapters, Karma Yoga is the predominant theme which is covered. I think Karma Yoga is covered in almost every chapter in different ways. But as somebody said, chapter 3 is exclusive Karma Yoga. And you also have some of the beautiful verses of Karma Yoga in the second chapter also, right? Now, I want you to ask yourself, am I a tortoise or a hare? Right? All of you ask yourself, don't answer. Don't say anything. I think this question is for all of us, including the grown-ups, including the adults, everyone. It is so difficult to be a tortoise, right? It is so difficult to be a karma yogi because we are unknowingly focusing so much on the results. The questions that we need to ask is, am I sincere towards the process? What do you mean sincere? Sincere is paying full attention on the task that we are doing. A serious person will focus so much on the outcome or the results. So a karmi is serious towards the results, whereas a karma yogi is sincere towards the process. So in what are the areas that you want to see whether you are a sincere karma yogi in every aspect of your life? It could be studying. It could be playing alone or playing with your friends, or even listening to this class. Are we sincere in the process of this? So in order to be sincere, what has to happen? Our attention span, attention and concentration has to be good. For that, we need to keep our eyes, ears, and our mind very focused on what is being said. Unless this happens, we cannot be sincere, right? So without worrying about what will happen in the outcome, let us take an example of studying. Every day, I know most of you are now attending the online classes, right? So every day you are focusing on this day-to-day, all these classes online. If you're only focusing for the sake of your formative or summative exams, then you will only focus on what is going to be asked in the exam. You may not pay full attention to that. Instead, if you say, okay, each class is teaching me something. Believe me, every class that you are hearing in the classes, be it mathematics, be it environmental science, be it any subject, it is going to be of great value to your learning over a period of time, not just for the examination. For this, you will have to be sincere. You will have to be a karma yogi in the class, not so much worried about the exams. Even while playing, let's imagine you may not win. Okay, nobody wins all the games, right, when you're playing. But the very process of playing can give so much of joy.
Sir?
Yeah?
Sir, we should do the hard work. We should not be worried about the result of hard work.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Okay. So the next question is, how do we know if, for example, we are too much focusing on the results? Sometimes we get very anxious about the exams. We get too stressed about the exams. We get too stressed about what will be the results of these exams. Sometimes unknowingly, parents and teachers can also give this stress. If they keep on focusing on how much have you got in the exams, did you get the A++++, or did you get above 90%, above 100%? Indirectly, grown-ups, adults also add this, add anxiety to the students. So you need to ask yourself, are you getting too worked up about the exams and the results of the exams? Are you comparing yourself too much with others and feeling very sad or jealous if your friend is doing better than you? If that is the case, maybe you are too much focusing on the results. See, nobody is there who will focus entirely on the process. We will have some thoughts about the results also. But is it so bad that you are so stressed or feeling so jealous of your own friends? Are you getting too angry? Are you getting too upset? If you lose few points, few marks in your exams, if you don't score out of out, are you getting too upset? If that is the case, then you may be too much focusing on the results more than the process. So what you need to do, think and shift your focus onto the process itself. Because in the end of the day, you see, lot of things depends for our outcome. The processing is in your hand, but not so much the outcome. We will see the beautiful verse in this chapter 3. You know what is the chapter? What is the verse number? Who is going to tell me what is the verse number in this?
Sir, I already
Karmanyeva
said this.
adhikaraste.
Sir,
Karmanyeva adhikaraste. What? Where is this verse?
sir, I already said this word in Gita. Can I say?
Yeah, you can. Carry on. You want to chant?
कर्मण्ये वाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म हेतु कर्म फल हेतु दुर्मते संगोस्त्व कर्मणि. Thank you so much. Thank you. Where is this? What is this? In which chapter does it come?
The third chapter, Karma Yoga.
Third chapter, 47th verse.
It is not third chapter. Whole of third chapter is also Karma Yoga is what I have put. Actually,
Second chapter.
It is in the second chapter, verse number
47.
47. That's right.
47.
It is verse number 47 in the second chapter. You are absolutely right. So what does it say? We have full control over the process of any action. Let's take an example of again studies. You have full control over how you can study for your exams. What resources, what material you can take, be it from online, be it from textbooks, be it from your classes, be it from other platforms, be it from your friends. You have all the controls which are in your hand. You have all the controls even during the exam. How you want to do the exam is also in your control. But what comes out in the exam after that is not in your control, because sometimes it depends on your evaluator. Sometimes you're doing everything right. What if there is an internet drop? You can't even complete the exam, let's say. If you don't get the right marks, it is not the fault. It is not your fault at all. But whatever you have learned in the process will always be there in your brain. It will always be there in your mind. Sometimes you may not be well. If you are unwell, you may not take the exam, but you would have studied so much. You have never failed. So if the process is right, you have always won. You have always got a first try. That you should remember. So you must focus more on the process rather than the outcome. That is what this beautiful verse says. And this is applicable for all of us. And it's not so easy to, follow this and imbibe this when you are an older person. When you are an adult, it is not so much too easy. But if you start from your age, it may get lot easier when you grow up. So don't focus so much on the outcomes. But whatever you do, your actions, do not think about the outcome. That is what the second line is saying. And the last part of the second line says, there are some smart people. Anyway, I don't have to think about the outcome, right? I will not do any work at all.
Sir,
I will be sitting quiet.
Sir?
That is why Lord Krishna says here, not doing anything is also bad. You
Sir,
must do your duty. I will come to you. I'll come to you. You must do your duty. So what are the duties of children? What are all your duties? So can one of you, tell me what are the duties as Aloki?
Yes, sir. Our duties are to get the right education, spiritual learning, obey adults.
Okay.
Sir?
So you have your duties at various places, right? You have your duties at home. Who says that children don't have any duties at home? Children have a lot of responsibilities even at home. You have duties in the school. You have duties with your friends, maybe in your own community and extended family. So all these duties, you must again focus on the process of it, not so much on the outcome. So all these duties will have to be done sincerely and respectfully. Whatever may be the results, try and accept it gracefully. So it does take a lot of time to arrive at this level. And this is true even for the most learned master also. We are always learning when it comes to this aspect. Only when we get through this phase, we can learn about higher levels of the spirituality. Karma yogis handle success and failures very well because they are not at all focusing on the success and failures. They are focusing more on the process, isn't it? They take everything in discounts. Let's say, for example, whenever you come first in the exams, or whenever somebody says that, wow, you are the best, you have chanted really well, okay, you are the best kid, you have done very well. What you should do in your own mind, acknowledge thanks and say that thanks to everybody. Who are all everybody? It could be your own teacher who taught you how to chant. You thank your own self. You should thank your own body, right? Your own mind. You had the ability to listen, absorb everything, remember everything in your brain, and also say that back. So thank yourself. Thank the people who have supported you. It could be your parents, your teacher, your friends. Okay, you may not want to say it loudly, but in your mind, say thanks to all of them. That is what we mean by taking everything in discounts. So even the success, you take it in discounts. At the same time, even the failures. If some things don't work for you, if you have lost few marks, also take that in discounts. You can say that, yes, maybe I did not put the process properly. Maybe I have not, studied very well this time. That is partly you, but partly various other things. Also put it on others. Maybe you didn't get enough coaching, enough teaching also. So in that way, by taking things in discount, you will not be arrogant. You will be humble about whatever you learn. So that is why Karma Yoga is such an important discipline at every stage. Be it in your primary school, when you're 5 years, when you're 10, 15, 50, even 100 years. And this is applicable for everyone, including Swamijis. And this is a hard skill to practice. I'm so glad that you're all learning all of this at such an early age. So you can focus at every level, at school, with friends, with family, society. So, and start practicing this. And it is known that people who are practicing this are always grateful. So what is gratefulness? Again, gratefulness is for every success that you are, if somebody says you are good, somebody claps for you, you take part of it. Yes, you should feel proud also. Yes, I have done, I've put my effort, and you should feel proud for that. And also give thanks to a lot of people. It could be give thanks to the God, give thanks to your parents, give thanks to all those people who encourage you in your own mind. And that is gratefulness. And those people who are grateful, they are always happy. Even if they have failures, because in their process, they are so sincere, they are always happy. They don't search for happiness from outside. They search for happiness. They get the happiness in the process of their work. It is such a beautiful and very important message from Krishna, right? So let's try and focus on these areas, right? Now let's see what are the life skills that we learn from Gita. And in order to be a karma yogi, in order to practice karma yoga, in order to practice gratefulness, in order to practice sincere, sincere role play or sincerely doing all of our works, we must follow some of these life skills. I'm sure many of you would have heard this in your school, because now it's become mandatory for all the schools to teach these life skills. This has come from WHO and particularly UNICEF also. UNICEF is a branch of United Nations. They have come out with this 10 important life skills for everyone, particularly children, who are going to the school. And believe me, when they say life skills, these are the skills for the entire life. And this is applicable for all of us also. So if we remember these things, then we can apply all these things in our day-to-day life. I will request now Manjula to take us through all these life skills and explain what are these life skills are and how do you define all of them and how to apply them in day-to-day life. Manjula, are you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, sir? Yeah.
You are audible. You are very clear.
Yes. Okay. Hi. Good evening, everyone. I'm very happy to be part of this group, and I think you guys, children, are like very inspiring to us also. I always keep I always wonder how you can recite, remember, and dedication it is, because like we can attend or present for one session, two session, but consistently doing it for many weeks, I think it truly appreciable, and I'm very happy about the determination that you guys have, and it's inspiring to me also. Okay, so Dr. Diwakar sir was giving about the Gita version about the skills that we need to have for our own betterment. So life skills are the another term that we can say. How Veda, the essence of Vedas, essence of Puranas are told in Bhagavad Gita. At the same way, there are some skills that we all need to have. Those skills are named as life skills. It is mainly for the survival and to handle the day-to-day difficulties. For kids, what are the problems that we maximum will have? Mainly in terms of studies, okay, friends, issues with the friends at home, right? And also, why it is only for, it is not meant for children. Why it is introduced to children? Because how you are all learning Gita at early age, learning life skills from early age shapes our abilities. It helps in terms of improving our abilities, and we can handle situation in a good manner. So there are 10 life skills. All the skills, whatever that we were learning earlier, like Diwakar was explaining about coping with emotions and knowing about having control, gratitude. These are skills are told in different names here. We have made groups. There are it's like a twin skills that they have organized, so it is easy to remember also. Starts with problem solving and decision making, creative thinking, critical thinking, self-awareness, empathy, interpersonal relationship, good communication, coping with stress, and coping with emotions. So when we see all these things, for example, I would like to start with sir was giving about the exam preparation. Let me take another example. In school, we heard about other kid dragging different other one child is dragging the other child. We call it as bullying. So when someone is teasing, so it is difficult to handle sometimes. So that's why we need to have empathy. If I do ragging or if I hurt someone else, how do other child feels, or what is the impact that other child goes through? So if I have empathy, I will not trouble the other child. At the same time, if I need to be loved by others, if I need to have good company of friends, I need good interpersonal relationship skills. Friendships are very important because it is not just for the academics, for our social life and also to feel better. So the interpersonal relationships with the friends and the empathy helps us to have good environment in the school also. Coping with stress and coping with emotions. It mainly in terms of whenever we are facing more challenges. For example, not doing well in the exams, or like if the teacher is commented in front of all the other students, feel embarrassed. There are different ways that we feel extremely we may feel that we are stressed, or we feel very sad, or we might feel angry. So self-awareness comes to our rescue. For example, Now we are talking about the sense pleasures, we talk about the self-control. Here also knowing about what are my emotions, what is that I'm going through now, why I'm feeling stress, what happens if I'm behaving in a different way. That self-awareness helps us to have good coping to use good coping strategies when I'm stressed and manage my emotions. Critical thinking and creative thinking. I want to use another example here. For example, now we are extremely addicted to the gadgets, using of games. So there are some group games because we are part of some WhatsApp groups, or we were very fond of some 2-3 friends. They may be using some other game, so they want us to involve in their activity in terms of video games and anything. So I need to use my critical thinking here to say no to them, because I know spending more time on mobile games or not to give importance to the academics, excessive use of mobile, that can cause more, that can have impact on my academics. So I need to analyze what happens if I say yes to my friends here. For example, if they introduce me to some other activities, going out without informing parents, or taking something which is not, for example, any substances. So we need to learn to say no there. So the critically thinking the consequences and communicating that I am not interested and saying no, that is important. So here all the skills comes here, right from solving the problem in the sense, okay, if there is any issue happened with my friend, how do I analyze the situation and correct the issues there. So taking a decisions about career, studies, these are all the important decisions comes during our school days. So these are 10 skills that we can use in different scenarios. Saying no to our peer group whenever we are forced to take some of the decisions or behaviors, having empathy towards other students, other friends, having a good relationship with our friends, communicating how I feel, what are my needs to our teachers, friends, and parents, having awareness about my abilities, what are my strengths, what are the limitations, what are the areas I need to improve upon, what I'm good at. So that is self-awareness. And managing our stress through following relaxation strategies, spiritual classes. This is also one way of managing our stress. And having control over emotions. We always talk about, okay, knowing the intensity of our emotions and distracting ourselves and reducing the frequency of we are getting angry or we are getting sad, sharing our concerns with others. So 10 life skills, we can use it in different contexts. So, thank you.
Thank you, Manjula. Thank you for that. So who is going to read about all 10 life skills? One of you, can you read this loud?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go on. One of you read this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Divyanshu, you've already spoken. So one of you who's not spoken, or already.
Sir, I will speak.
Yeah. Okay, Sarayu, you want to read?
Yes. Problem solving, decision making, creative thinking, critical thinking, self-awareness, empathy, interpersonal relationship, good communication, management of stress, management of emotion.
So all of you must try and remember all these 10. I mean, that's how we start, right? Because all of this are extremely useful for us. In Gita, everything is talked about. We are using different terminologies here, that's all. All of this are talked about in great detail in Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Gita was told when? At least 5,000 years ago. So all of this has come probably in last 40, 50 years back. So everything has been already told. So
In the first millennium BC.
yeah, I think these are timeless knowledge that we are reading through Gita.
Sir,
Now,
it was the time when Arjuna and Krishna was there.
that's right. So now there is a story here, right? So I think most of you know the story of the pigeon and the hunter.
Yes.
Who's going to tell me the story in 1 minute?
Can I tell? I didn't get a chance.
Yeah, whoever didn't get a chance can tell.
Okay, sir. There was a flock of pigeons who used to they used to go far off places for food, and one day they arrived at a field where there was they arrived at a forest. There was many grains. There was many grains in the forest, so they stayed there. One day a hunter came there and saw many birds, so he decided to take some birds to his house. So what he did, he put a net that was not visible to other birds and put some grains there which was visible to the other birds. So the birds went and tried to to eat the grains, and they were stuck. But before going there, and pigeon said, "It must be a hunter because I can see a net there." The other pigeons didn't believe and went, and soon they were stuck. Now the old pigeon said that, "You didn't listen to me once and this has happened. Now if you can listen to me, we can get out of this situation," said the old pigeon. So the next day the hunter was going to come. When he would come, then all of them should act dead, so he would throw them in the ground. When all of them were in the ground, they would fly away. So the next morning the hunter came, and the hunter was surprised to see that there were only dead birds. So he threw the birds out of the net to go home. And suddenly the birds went up and they went up flying away.
Well done, Vishnu. Brilliant. Excellent. So now, what are the life skills that we studied or read just now, learned just now? What are the life skills that we can apply here? Look at it from the pigeon's point of view. So what are the life skills that we can, start thinking about from this?
Critical thinking and creative thinking.
Critical thinking, creative thinking. That is right. What else? Let me go back to the previous slide. What else? What about
problem solving and decision making?
Absolutely, almost everything, right? See, they manage the stress. There was management of stress.
Creative thinking and critical thinking.
So they were extremely stressed, but they were trying to manage. They didn't lose heart. They said, look,
Problem solving, management of emotion.
Absolutely, management of emotion. They controlled their emotion. They were under stress. They controlled their emotion, and then came, the
self-awareness.
They had a good communication amongst each other. The leader took charge and said, "Look, we can all come out if we all act together."
So empathy.
Empathy.
Self-management.
Self-awareness.
So this is almost everything, right? So which means whenever we are in trouble, we can think of all of this and try and come out of a situation. We need not feel overwhelmed, or we need not feel burdened when we face any difficulty. Is there anybody who doesn't face any difficulty? There is nobody. Everybody will face some difficulty. But how do we deal with the difficulty is what matters, right? When we have all these skills, when we know Gita and the meanings of Gita, essence of Gita, we can face any difficulty. All these life skills are also saying the same thing. So club all these things together, what you learn from Gita and the life skills, you can face any challenges or difficulty, rather easily. And again, the lesson is, whenever you are in trouble, make sure who's the people who is going to help you. Whom should you talk to? Do not keep everything to yourself. Feel free to talk to your close friends. Feel free to talk to your parents. Feel free to talk to your teachers. Only then you will get some guidance. If you're too emotional and stressed out, our mind cannot think of solutions. Now, that is what this beautiful verse in the Gita says. What is this called? This is called as Rata Kalpana. Actually, the original part of this verse has come from the Kathopanishad. It says that the horses here are compared to the sense organs, right? All are sense organs. And these sense organs are interacting with the sense objects. It could be the phone, it could be the eatables or whatever. The sense organs are controlled by the mind. Mind is this range. And who is controlling this? This warrior. This warrior here who is sitting here is the buddhi, is the intellect. And who is behind this intellect is the Atma. Is the Atma who cannot be perceived. Atma cannot be experienced. Right?
This is Nayana. I already told this was when I got the chance to tell the 15 verses.
Excellent, Nayana. Now, you see, whenever we see this sense objects, so I've put down here a lot of things, you know, some chips, burger, chocolates, ice creams. Suddenly our eyes will lit up. Our tongue is already watering. Okay, we want this because we know the taste of it and we know it's, you know, we enjoy this. Who enjoys this? It is our mind. It is the emotions. When the emotions become too much, then the buddhi says, no, you go and get it. You must have it because it is so nice. And over a period of time, there is this beautiful verse in the 2nd chapter. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsan. Pumsan is a person. If they are focusing too much on this sense objects, let us take an example of a mobile phone, let's say. Nowadays, everybody is addicted to these mobile phones, right? Everybody is addicted to iPads or TV, some gadgets, because it is so attractive. When somebody focuses on this, Vishaya is the sense objects. What happens? Then this sense objects capture that person. Sangasteshu. So see, these sense objects will actually capture this individual. And with that, what happens? They become more and more attached to this. And they are so much more, there is more desire to get these things and acquire all these sense pleasures. And with that comes kopa, krodha, because whatever we don't get, we will get angry. With that, after we get this anger, what happens? Our intellect also keeps coming down. So how to deal with this? The very next verse says, be mindful, be aware of all these dangers and do everything in moderation. How do you know if you're doing something in moderation or not? If you're spending too much time on the mobile phones, even if your parents are calling you, you continue to spend your time on the TV or watching some, whatever serials or the phone. If you're not doing other tasks which you're supposed to do, then you may be exceeding your time. Remember, then maybe your mind is trying to capture this slowly. So become mindful of this and slowly try and come out of it. You've already studied the values and virtues in chapter 16 and 17. All of them are the life skills. So I'll leave it here. All the values and self-discipline are like muscles, and we must follow this every day. It's not that we do it one day and forget about it. Only when we follow this every day, we can notice some changes in our life gradually. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and I apologize that I have taken more time. Sorry everyone, sorry Sachin that I've exceeded my time. I've just noticed it. So thank you for this opportunity, and there is a lot of learning from all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Diwakar.